Hi everyone, my name is Sandy Johnston, Director of Communications for the town of Medway. I'm here today to talk about the Christmas Parade, a colorful and exciting tradition here in Medway for over 26 years. It's been a great avenue to start the holiday season, bringing not only Medway residents together, but also lots of people from other towns. I'm here today with Rich Parrella, committee member of the Christmas Parade, Mary Jane White, founder, and you might also know her as the town clerk here in town, and Chief Alan Tingley, Chief of Police, and also Christmas Parade Committee. Welcome everyone, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Mary Jane, let's start with you. As the founder of the Christmas Parade, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about the history, where the idea came from.
Well, I was elected to town clerk in 1991, and I noticed that Medway, we were void of any Christmas decorations anywhere, town hall, anywhere in town. And if you came up 109, you'd go through Westwood, Medfield, Millis, lights. You come to Medway, Dock, you'd go to Milford, lights. So I thought, well, we need to do something to liven the town up for Christmas. So we formed a committee with Alan's father, Fred Tingley, Bob Good, the fire chief at the time, Wayne Vinton, Sandy Bennett, Maureen Giles, and decided, let's do a parade and have a tree lighting at the end of the parade. So that would bring lights to we really don't have a center of town, that's our problem. So Choate Park is kind of a little bit of the center. So Fred and Bob would light the tree every year. We decided to have the parade. We contacted all the businesses, and the first check we got for money was from Medway Block. They were the first one to ever donate. The highway was on board, fire department, police were on board. Our first parade started where it still starts now, at the middle school. Mike Matondi was our Grand Marshal, and it was his job, the Grand Marshal's job was to light the lights. We'd keep them dark until the end of the parade. And then we decided a couple years later we need a little more excitement. So what do we do for that? And we decided fireworks. So we weren't sure if we could do it, and we contacted a firework company in New Hampshire. And he said it would be a great time to do it. Winter, they don't do fireworks. He would sell us all his leftovers for $5,000. Or I don't know, Rich, if it's still $5,000. No. He came down. The first year the fireworks were a big hit. We've continued ever since. And I think most of our fundraising was to get money for the fireworks, because everyone else donates their time. We were lucky in Medway at the time we wanted to do the parade. We have Roger Decorating, and they were doing a parade that year, that certain day. They rushed back to Medway to be in Medway's parade, and they've done it. They've done it ever since, and been without the Rogers, it would be very difficult to put on a parade. So and the one thing that has been changed when we first started it, would do it like the second week in December on a Saturday night, but then it would be colder. One year we had the snow plow in front of the parade so the parade could march up to the park. So then we changed it to what it is now, Thanksgiving weekend on Saturday night.
So with that, can you tell us a little bit about what the parade route looks like now? How many fire trucks, when you started, how many fire trucks were involved in the parade?
Well, we definitely have Medway fire trucks.
Yeah. And
usually the towns around us. It's much bigger today, much more people get involved. It's better known now than it was then. We had it was mostly, thankfully for the Rogers, the floats, so we had Santa. We had a few fire trucks, not what they have now, highway trucks, and that was our parade. And then at the end, there was an old shed up at Choate Park that housed the lawnmowers and stuff. Would clean that out, we decorated it, and would put Santa in. The children were able to have their picture taken with Santa. Okay. And also we were able, with the Grand Marshal, we were able to honor a retired Medway employee, retired Medway police, retired Medway fire. So it was Medway's chance to honor these people every year.
Okay, great. That's some good information. Richard, as a member of the committee currently, could you tell us a little bit about how the parade has evolved?
Well, the premise of the parade has remained the same. It's just to wish everyone happiness, peace, goodwill, prosperity. That concept has never changed. The physical parade has changed in that the route is the same, the organization is the same, however the size has grown tremendously. We have a number of floats, not only the ones that the Rojays, that Mickey Rojay now donates, and the one with Santa Claus at the end, but we have a number of commercial vehicles who will decorate and be in the parade. We have a number of organizations who will have floats for their organization. This year we're going to have one for the Girl Scouts and maybe some high school floats and whatever. And we have antique vehicles. As Mary Jane said, we have a number of fire trucks, and that has really grown thanks to Michael Boynton, our town administrator, who's an aficionado of fire trucks. But I don't remember what the number was last year. Alan, do you remember?
No.
But the year before, I think it was 42 fire pieces of fire apparatus. And not only locally, we had one from Rye, Maine. We've had them from Providence, Rhode Island. We've had one from Western Massachusetts.
Wow.
And I think at the time Mary Jane's talking about, they were giving plaques for certain type of the best decorated and whatever, and they still do that. They have a collation at the fire station for all the fire crews to arrive at and have something to eat, and then awards are given out for the best decorated and the longest distance, and a number of 6 different avenues to pursue. So that has been a tremendous change. But the size of the parade in general, we now estimate about 6,000 to 8,000 people come to Medway, if they're not just Medway residents, from surrounding areas to view the parade. And it's also been transitioned from, as Mary Jane said, from being down on the grounds of the park. With the opening of the Thayer House, it's allowed us to have a venue very nicely decorated, where they have a concession stand inside, where we're able to introduce any speakers or a grand marshal, and there's a room there with Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, and it's all decorated, and people can go in and have their pictures taken at no charge. If they'd like to make a donation, that's wonderful, but a donation is not required, and it's worked out fantastic, and it's just grown in size every year.
Great. Speaking about how it's been growing, can you talk about the sponsors that have gotten involved and how that has grown over the years?
The sponsors it has grown thanks to, there seems to be a base of sponsors that you can almost count on like clockwork. As an example, Charles River Bank has been one of what we call our platinum sponsor for a number of years. We've had some add on and some drop off. If we have one challenge, it is the fundraising, because 100% of our parade is privately funded. Medway, the town, does not financially support our parade. So it's always a battle. We seem to come through it okay each year. But that's our most difficult challenge is the fundraising effort. So yes, we have a nucleus of strong supporters, and we have some new ones and some drop off each year. And if we get more, that would certainly make our position easier, because our costs have gone up, not just for the fireworks, for police details, for fire details, and a number of different things. And that's only natural that it would be. So that's probably our biggest challenge.
Okay, and can you make the big announcement about who the Grand Marshal will be this year?
Yes, our Grand Marshal this year, is chosen by the committee, is Paul J. DeSimone. Ironically, Paul is also going to be honored this Saturday and have a section of the Oakland Street Park named on his behalf for the Paul DeSimone Camp Sunshine Playground. And our committee every year tries to look for individuals, not only along with the lines of what Mary Jane was saying, but also those individuals who've done things in Medway and meant something to Medway. And when you look at the credentials of Paul DeSimone, from his initiation as working from Little League and into the Parks Department, going back to the 70s, and involvement on the Board of Selectmen, and he's still involved with Charles River Pollution Control and all the things he's done, and he's one of the founding members of Camp Sunshine. He's instrumental in that. So when we examined his, what I call credentials, there's no way we could deny the fact that he deserved such recognition, and I know they're very excited about it.
Great, that sounds exciting. So Chief,
Yes.
I was wondering if you could, I know that we've mentioned a lot about the committee members, but I know there's quite a few others that are not here today, and I was hoping that you could just mention their names, who else participates on the Christmas Parade Committee.
Sure, absolutely. We have a lot of people that have gotten involved since we've been on the committee. One of our committee members that isn't here is Paul Trufant, who's been serving on the committee for a while. Tim Rice is another individual that helps us organize the parade, also takes a lot of pictures. Joanne Russo, my wife Charlene, my daughter Susan, Mary Lou Staples are all very involved in setting up the concession stand, in ordering the food and selling the food and snacks that are offered during the parade. John Foresto, who kind of oversees the Thayer House, one of our selectmen, is also very involved as far as getting the Thayer House ready, decorated, really looking nice. We have Christine Pacheski and her husband, who are very instrumental. They're both involved in the yard sale fundraising we do, along with roles as Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
No, I think you've got, there are people who help out with little things, odds and ends.
Another individual we should probably mention is Scotty Guyette, who was on the committee, I think, pretty close to when it started, who
Pretty close to when it
handled
started,
a lot
right.
of the electrical work
Yes.
and
Yep, him and
Christmas
Bob
lighting
Wood,
and
yep.
whatnot.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Can you
think that-
talk a little bit about the organization of the parade? Mention the parade route. All the fire trucks gather at Broad Street, is that correct?
That's
and then
correct.
Can you just tell everybody what the parade route is?
Sure, the parade route starts at the Medway Middle School. It travels down Holliston Street to the set of lights, and it takes a left onto Main Street. It continues on Main Street up until the park, where a lot of the floats and the fire vehicles will drop off their passengers and continue to other locations because of lack of parking, and that's the main route. Just because of the increase in participants that we have, we found that the school, there really wasn't enough room to be able to line everybody up, so we moved the fire trucks down to Broad Street, where we line the fire trucks up at Broad Street, and when the 5:30 start time of the parade comes around, we head out with the fire trucks, and then we pick up the rest of the parade and continue on the route.
Okay, great. Well, I just wanted to say thank you all for participating and getting the word out about the past and the present of the Christmas parade. And I wanted to welcome you all to join us at the parade on Saturday, November 24th, starting at 5:30. The parade, as Chief said, will start at Broad Street, go all the way past the middle school, down 109, and end at Choate Park for fireworks. I also wanted to announce the new Facebook-only contest this year. If everybody could go on to the Town of Medway's Facebook page and like the page, follow along, as we'll be announcing a big contest more geared towards the kids, but all parents are welcome to like the Facebook page and find out on November 19th the big announcement and get involved. So we hope everyone can come down to the parade. Hope to see you there. Merry Christmas.